Hello Star Wars fans, Bear here, and today we're going to be talking about Supreme Leader Snoke. A lot of information has been given to us in the past few months regarding his origins and generally who this enigmatic figure may be. In order to learn more about who Snoke may be, we first have to look at other parts of the original trilogy and Palpatine himself. So let's jump right into hyperdrive, shall we? There are indications that Supreme Leader Snoke predates the Sith and is more powerful and more sinister, if you will, than Palpatine ever was. Now, let's understand Palpatine first. In the original trilogy, he's very calculating, very secretive, and we know he has a serious endgame thinking cap going on. What his plans are beyond what we ever got to know because of his untimely death. We know he wanted a more centralized military that he had direct control over, and we saw that he did get that direct control in Return of the Jedi when he commanded the Death Star be operational to attack the Rebel fleet. Why did he want that more centralized military? Well, it was because he was looking to go farther out into the galaxy to search for the source of the dark side. This is indicated in Chuck Wendig's Star Wars Aftermath trilogy, which I absolutely loved. There are interludes where we see Palpatine meditate, trying to reach out to a voice of the dark side in the unknown regions. We also know that he has established bases all across the galaxy, one even being in Jakku that the final book in the trilogy reveals. So, we know that Palpatine is looking for something, or someone. Another thing that indicates that it may be Snoke is, well, where was Snoke in the original trilogy? If in fact it is Snoke and something is calling to Palpatine, Snoke may be incapacitated in some way, maybe even imprisoned. He may just need somebody very powerful in the dark side to free him from this. Luckily, Palpatine had thought this through. If he would have died, the Empire would need to continue with something just as powerful and centralized as he was, or even more powerful. This is where my homeboy Grand Admiral Thrawn comes in. In the same book, Empire's End, we learned that Thrawn was kind of kept around because he knew his way around the unknown regions, whereas where the remnants of the Empire decided to meet up on the Eclipse-class vessel, where they would once again rebuild and be reborn. So, we know they're going out into the unknown regions, searching for something, and Palpatine knew something was out in the unknown regions, which is Snoke. Palpatine isn't the only one getting the callings from the dark side to go into these regions. We also learn about the Acolytes of the Dark and the little cult that Yupe Tashu, one of the advisors of Palpatine, kind of formed on the side. These acolytes are, I think, the predecessors of the Knights of Ren that we see in The Force Awakens. They're not exactly Force-sensitive, but they're very powerful on the dark side and follow that very much. They have lots of artifacts and even have Darth Vader's, well, supposedly Darth Vader's lightsaber in their possession as well. We also know that Snoke is not a Sith, nor will there be any Sith in this new trilogy as far as I know. Pablo Hidalgo, who serves as creative executive for storytelling with Lucasfilm, has already given us this information before The Force Awakens even comes out. Well, Kylo Ren has a lightsaber and he uses a Force, that makes him a Sith, right? No, those are two things that don't necessarily mean that you're a Sith. Being a Sith means you follow very strict guidelines, and you follow the rule of two. Kylo Ren is the leader of the Knights of Ren. He has lots of people under him, and serves somebody else above himself, that being Snoke. Therefore, he is not a Sith following the rule of two set out by Darth Bane. So, if Snoke is not a Sith, then what is he? I have a couple ideas. One of them is the more obvious one. If anybody's watched the Clone Wars series, we learn about the Ancient Ones. Anakin and Obi-Wan get stuck in this vessel that contains 3 Ancient Ones that have survived from whatever cataclysm they had to go through. That is the daughter, the father, and the son. In this 2-episode series, I think it's a couple episodes long, the father dies, who symbolizes the balance in the Force, or rather the gray side of the Force. When he dies, the son is left to escape this vessel and escape into the galaxy. We never get an end to that arc, really. There was going to be a conclusion, but it was sort of cut off by the producers, and we never got another season of Clone Wars. That's besides the point. The only reason why I bring them up is because, besides them, Snoke is the only person we know who is possibly thousands of years old. And the only reason I say that is he couldn't possibly be young. We see how old he looks, and he is not Sith. And the only reason why I bring this up is because I think Snoke is either an ancient one or something more terrifying. The only reason I say that is because there's no way that Snoke isn't thousands of years old at this point in time. If Palpatine was indeed reaching out to the dark side or the source of the dark side, and they end up finding Snoke in the unknown regions, what else would they find there but Snoke? And this would have predated anything that happened before the Sith. Otherwise, Palpatine would have known about it. So this is a new discovery for Palpatine, and building the Death Star was one way for him to retain power over whatever the source of darkness happened to be. We know one thing. Snoke is old as heck, and he may be an ancient or something more primordial that we haven't encountered yet. Aside from his enigmatic origin coming out of seemingly nowhere, the fact that Luke had to run away is another indicator that this may be something that we have no knowledge of yet. Stating the obvious here, ain't I? But let's think about it this way. Luke was going to lead a new generation of Jedi to bring balance to the Force. His new Jedi Order was destroyed by the Knights of Ren, led by Supreme Leader Snoke. Luke goes into hiding to a lost Jedi temple. Now, to me, this is only logical. It doesn't seem that Luke was trying to run away because he felt ashamed of anything. He was trying to find something to combat this primordial evil that Snoke is or has possession of. So by fighting this new temple, I guess the first Jedi temple, it's the closest that he can get to knowing what Snoke is and how he can stop him. And that, I think, is going to be what unfolds in these next two movies. It may actually be Kylo Ren and Rey fighting together to stop Supreme Leader Snoke. But that's a story for another video. But hey, it's just a theory. The Star Wars theory. MadPat hasn't copyrighted that phrase yet, has he? I hope not, because I love game theory, and if anything, his YouTube channel has inspired me to make my own theories, and this is going to be a regular thing. So if you guys like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe while you take the chance. Also, if you want to know where I got this awesome theatrical poster t-shirts, I'll leave a link for you guys in the description below as well. That way you can get it for yourself if you like it. That's all for now, Star Wars fans. May the Force be with you. Thanks for tuning in today. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you're a Star Wars fan, you definitely want to make sure you subscribe. Take the time to visit our Patreon account in the description below to help support the channel and all future products we have in store. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up with my day-to-day vices. That's all for today, Star Wars fans. May the Force be with you.